Woman, and for everyone involved, I do want to thank you for the tremendous courtesies and civil and cordial way that we have been able to work on these issues. There's a lot of common ground, and there were some bona fide differences, but I thank you for all these courtesies. Thank you, Mr. McAleenan and Mr. Fulgham, for being with us here today, for meeting with us on the Department of Homeland Security's fiscal 2020 budget request. I also want to specifically, Mr. Secretary, thank you for stepping into this role and leading this department. There's a lot to consider in the entirety of the department's budget. I'm grateful that the chairwoman has held individual budget hearings with the individual agencies within the department as best as our schedule would allow. There's a lot of great work being done across the department. We've heard from the Coast Guard and the TSA. FEMA is later this afternoon, and CISA is tomorrow. We've had very informative meetings with ICE and CBP. It is clear that the people at the department are working every day to keep our country safe. Every leader from the department I've met with shares the same message. The people in their agencies are the most dedicated and committed to the mission of protecting our country. Please pass along our thanks for the work they're doing around the clock every day, sir. However, the situation we're seeing at our southwest border is really what's front and center these days. It is affecting the entire nation. It's pulling resources within the CPB, as we are seeing with wait times at the various types of ports within the department, and I'm sure that you are looking at reprogramming options. And I'm sure there aren't many. And across of all government from also high priorities. It's straining the resources and abilities of the NGOs in our country and in Mexico. It was the pin in the revolving negotiations around the partial shutdown of our federal government. I am hopeful that together, both sides of the aisle and both sides of the Capitol, we can come to an agreement and a solution. But this is a budget hearing. So focusing on the department's budget request of almost $52 billion in net discretionary funding, I think there's many places where we can agree. Resources for border security, technology, humanitarian aid, increases for cybersecurity and research, investment in the Coast Guard assets, and FTE investments to improve trade, travel, investigations, and enforcement. We all know the $5 billion requested for the physical border barrier will remain a challenge. We are up to it. Mr. Secretary, I think you have demonstrated a need for it. I look forward to your testimony on the department's proposed investments and initiatives, and I thank you for being here. Madam Chairwoman, I yield back.